Hi everybody, Judy Tuttle here with Tuttle Up Stamping. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Midland, Texas. Welcome. I'm excited to be here with you today. I'm feeling a little bit better, not 100% yet, but well enough to do a Facebook Live with you guys and then take a nap. That's my plan. So here we go. We have been on a week of these amazing, awesome, see if I can pull them all out here that we've done so far. Fun folds for our holiday break. Fun fold craft along. 12 cards. And thank you, Christina. 12 cards, all fun folds, amazing designers. Can't even believe they let me join them. And we've had a lot of fun working together. So let me just show you some of them. I don't know if I have them all here. Here's, maybe I should go to my hands, huh? Here is one of the cards we made yesterday. This tri-fold card sits up on a desk really nicely. Little space for you to write in there. That was a fun one. Hi, Jan. Thanks for joining me. Here was our tri-fold card. And I really love the vellum on this and how it gives you a little peekaboo of what is inside. And that was two of the cards that we made yesterday. Okay. Then earlier this week, we made a couple of other cards. Let's show you. Melissa Faust, friend of mine, love her to death. We even have little pet nicknames for each other. This was one of them. Opens like this, and I really think it's a fun size. It's a fun size to send, a little different than your typical side, right? Thank you, Christina. And then this card here has a belly band on it. We embossed that panel with just a scoreboard, and then it has a little pop-up mechanism inside for that one. These were the first two cards we did this week. I think I did them on Sunday. And then we did this one, which I really love because it's just fun how it pivots and rotates to the other side like that. And also can sit on a desk. You know how much I love that. Happy New Year to you, Mary. Lots of blessings for you this year. And then this was that curtain opening. I called it the theater card. It pops open like that. Isn't that fun? You're on my mind and in my heart. I love that pop-up mechanism, and that is so fun. Okay, so that is all the cards that we have done so far, all 6 of them. We have 2 more for you today. We have 12 total, okay? So let me put these away, and then we'll get started on today's cards, which are going to be a lot of fun as well. Okay, here we are. All right, first card is for the sewer in your life. So what this Hobby Haven paper is all about is different hobbies, right? Of course, there's crafting, there's sewing, there's spa, and beauty treatments, lots of fun. There's gardening. Well, I should say plants in home. What do I want to say? House plants. Where did I just lose that heart? It was right here. Maybe it'll pop up on me here. It's okay. We'll find it. Okay. So this is the card that we are making today. I have some sewers in my life. I don't know if you do or not. So the fun thing about this is it's like a card within a card. So it opens up, and then you get to see that beautiful DSP with all those sewing elements on there. And then on the inside, it says, "You get me, and I appreciate that." So such a fun card. Let's put it together. So we have a 4.5. You're going to cut your paper 4.25 by 11 and score it at 5.5. And then you're going to cut off halfway through the front at 2 3/4. You're going to cut off that panel. Okay. Then you're going to cut that panel down a little bit to 4 by 2.5. And you can run it through any embossing folder you want. We use the Beautiful Patterns embossing folder. Okay. So I am going to adhere this to the top part of this card. The Leaves embossing folder would look great. The Timeless Type would look great. Any of them would do a good job. It doesn't show a lot. It just adds a little texture to this top panel right here. Okay, there we go. Now let's go ahead and do the inside card. It is right here. It's Cajun Craze, and this one is cut 3 3/4 by 10, and then scored down the middle at 5 inches. 3 3/4 by 10, scored down the middle at 5 inches. So we're going to take this, which is going to be our inside card. And let's put it right there. Okay, now I cut a piece of that DSP, and this is that pattern that has all the sewing stuff on it. I love it. It is 3.5 by 4 3/4. It's going to get adhered right here on the front of that inside card. Okay. So you can still get a PDF of all 12 cards with the video tutorials. 2 ways. You can just pay for it, which is $25, or you can place an order this week of $50 or more in my online store, and I will send it to you as well. So the link to the PDF will be in the description. I do still have a couple of kits available if anybody would want to get a kit in the mail. Okay, so this is my basic white that is going to go on the inside. And I'm going to take my Cajun Craze, and I am going to ink up my brush. And I'm just going to add some Cajun Craze to the top left corner and the bottom right corner here. Just brush it on with a blending brush. Okay. All right. Now I have this strip of Cajun Craze that's going to go across the bottom. Needless to say, we will not be going to any New Year's parties tonight. No need to get everybody sick, and honestly, I think I'll probably be in bed by 9:30. So that has been my par for this week. Highly unusual for me, but there you go. It is what it is. God's slowing me down, and I'm going to let him until I feel better. Okay, there we go. The strip is across the bottom. Now I have an ephemera right here that is this little pin cushion. So I learned to sew at a very young age. My mom taught me when I was like 9 or 10 years old. My mom sewed every single piece of clothing I wore, except for maybe jeans, most of my childhood life, and she made every dress I wore, even in my more adult life. Okay, so she was a big time sewer. I have barely sewed. I did a few things. I have done a few things for my kids. I made a quilt for my sister when she got married. That's been about 30 years ago. And I haven't sewed much since then. I don't know why. Probably because I'm stamping too much, right? Well, can you stamp too much? Let's get real. I'm not sure about that. Okay, you get me, and I appreciate that. Now, I should have a little blue heart that I had in this case because I checked it right before. Let me look on the ground. Sheesh, I don't know what happened to it. It disappeared. But let me show you the inside of this one. You're just going to pull off that ephemera in the blue heart, and just add it right there next to the you get me, and I appreciate that. Okay. I'm sure I'll find it as soon as the video's over. That's the way it typically happens. Okay, so this now is going to go, excuse me, on the inside of this card. Okay. Inside of the inside. It's going inside the inside card. Right here. So pretty. I don't know what happened right there, but I'm just going to pull that off. There we go. All right, now time to focus on the outside. So that's all we have so far, right? Card within a card. Yay, I'm glad you're here today, Brenda. Thanks for joining me. I've missed you. Brenda bought one of my kits and was telling me she's a little late getting started. But that's the great thing about that PDF with all the videos, and you'll have me live here for 30 days at least, right? Add a little Cajun craze on the front of this, give it a little smoky look, okay? And then I'm going to stamp, "You make my life better just by being in it." So there we go. Now, something fun that Jennifer Beatty Hill did with this card, I thought it was a super cute idea. She took the sewing machine ephemera and she took our panel, which is a textured note die, right? Take our panel, decide kind of where you want that sewing machine to be, and then she punched a hole right where the needle would be with our piercing tool on our take your pick tool. So I just poked a hole right through both spaces, okay? Then I'm going to take one strand of that petal pink ribbon and trim, and I just pulled out one strand, okay? Just one. And I'm going to feed it through this hole. And you can use your take your pick tool to kind of help you with that if you need it. Of course, I didn't have any trouble doing it earlier, but now on my live, it's going to give me issues. Here we go. So maybe I just need to do them one at a time. I think that's what I did when I did it before. There you go. Perfect. Okay, so like that, okay? Now, on the back, I'm going to pull this about halfway. I'm going to go up just a little bit at an angle like that, and I'm going to grab my tearing tape. And just kind of hold it at an angle in place like that. On the back side, okay? I'm going to flip it back over. I'm going to grab my dimensionals. It's fun how that goes through the needle on the sewing machine, isn't it? I thought that was a really cute idea. going to put some dimensionals on the back side. Okay. Make sure I get this centered where I want it. There we go. So cute. And now I'm just going to tie this into a bow right here. So is anybody doing anything fun for New Year's Eve? Or are we all beyond that? I remember when New Year's Eve would be the biggest thing, right? The parties, the fun. We had several friends get married on New Year's Eve. It is a lot of fun. Isn't it a cute idea? I know, Christina. I think it's a cute idea too. Okay. See, that is true creativity there, right? All right, now this panel is going to go flat on this Cajun Craze panel. I'm going to use some liquid glue here on the back. There we go. Then this is going to get popped up right here on this top panel only. You only want the dimensionals to be on the very top right here, okay? So I'm going to flip this over, kind of center it where I want it, and then make sure that when I put my dimensionals on, it goes above that top panel line, above this line right here. So I'm going to do a couple right there. And then all that's left is adding on my Pearls of Beauty, and we will be done with this card number 7. Okay, so I'm going to start down here by centering everything. Press it in. And let's add some Pearls of Beauty. So the ones I'm adding are this goldish color here. I'm going to put one right here. I'm going to put another one. So right there. And then a third one right down there. So that is card number 1. I know. I'm sorry, Christina. It really does stink, doesn't it? You make life better just by being in it. And there you go for the sewer in your life. I hope you guys love that. Love that card. Okay, and then the next card we're going to do today, let me move all this over, get some things put away here before I make a mess. Okay, so here we go. Card number 3 is this card right here. And it opens, wishing you all the best, it says. And it opens this way and then this way. How pretty is that? And can you see that the petal pink has been brushed on there in the corner? So pretty. And this is actually made from 2 separate pieces of thick basic white cardstock. Okay, so I'll show you how we're going to do that. We have a piece of thick basic white that we have cut into 2 5.5 by 8.5 inch panels. Okay, And I'm just going to pull all my pieces out here. That blue heart is a mystery. I mean, it wouldn't be a mystery if I hadn't just checked it right before I went live, made sure it was in there. And it was, so who knows? It's probably on the ground somewhere. All right, so I have 2 pieces of thick white cardstock. So those of you who got the kit in the mail, you should find the white that is thicker, that it would be your thick white, okay? And these 2 cards are going to fold. One is going to fold with the score line to the right, and one is going to fold with the score line to the left. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to cut out, and this was a recommendation of Jennifer. You want to cut out the top portion of this card and the bottom portion of this card. So she recommended you put an X in there, and then you know exactly what parts you are cutting out, okay? Then we're going to grab our paper cutter. Okay, and so this one, we're going to cut it right in half down the center of that panel. So we want to be at 2 3/4, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, right there. And we're going to cut it just to the score line, which is the 4 1/4 mark. So I'm going to pull this down. I'm going to watch carefully when it hits that score line right there. Okay, looks great. And then I'm going to turn it, and I am going to cut it down to 2 3/4. Needs just a tiniest bit more. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that is going to be the right side, and then we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to cut it to the score line. And then I'm going to turn it and cut it down to the 2 3/4 inch line. There we go. So there's our 2 panels for the front of our card. Okay, so now I'm going to take this panel and overlap it with that panel, and then we'll get our 2 flaps, one that opens this way and one that opens that way. Okay, so I'm going to add, and I highly recommend you use liquid adhesive here. It doesn't really matter which one's on top of which, as far as this is concerned, which one is the inside and which one is the outside. Okay, so there we go. Now we have our 2 flaps. Let me straighten that out just a little bit. There we go. That are going to open this way. Okay. What are those doors called that kind of open like that? Double Dutch doors, something like that. That's what it reminds me of. Okay, I have 2 pieces of DSP here. This blobby looking one with the petal pink and blues and crumb cake, and then this petal pink one. Okay, this one is going to go on this top flap here. What do I want to use? I don't think it really matters. I think I'm going to use, and it covers the whole flap. Okay, so it's 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, and There we go. Now, if there's any overhang, you can you can see there's a tiny little bit of overhang right there. I'm going to take my paper snips and just snip it off. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to do the same thing with this panel. Okay, I'm going to put petal pink here at the bottom. It's going to cover the whole panel. There we go. And there's our double Dutch door, right? How fun is that? So cute. Okay, so now we're going to take one of our circles, and this is the largest of the stylish shape. Brenda, you should have gotten these with your die cuts in your kit. Mary as well. I forgot Mary was here. Mary as well. You sound like me, Brenda. That's kind of what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to take my petal pink, and first thing I'm going to do is down here in the bottom corner, I'm just going to brush on some petal pink ink. Just to add a little softness to the inside there. And then I'm also doing it to my stitch shaped circle here. So when you buy the kits from us, we die cut all the labels and pieces that are not a part of the bundles that are used. So lots of die cuts. I think we counted 26 die cuts for these projects. Okay, so here we go. On this inside here, I'm going to take this leaf foliage image, and I'm going to grab my balmy blue ink here. And I'm going to stamp it on the inside, right here in this corner. Kind of coming up, not the whole part of it, about half of it. There we go. Then I'm also going to stamp this. While I've got this balmy blue out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp it on a scrap piece of white. So I'm going to ink this up again. There we go. Okay, so this circle is going to go right here on this front this front bar only, okay, the top half of our double Dutch door. So it's going to go like this, okay? So okay, so there was a famous show in the 60s. Let's see who knows the answer to this. You know, I love trivia of this kind. And they always talked through, the characters always talked through a double Dutch door. Actually, I feel like I can think of two of them right now. But if you can name either one of them, I know some of you weren't even alive in the 60s, so I can deal with that. It's okay. And then the second circle of the same size. Thank you, Brenda. I know the kits are awesome. And like I said, I do still have 2 kits available. Endless PDFs, right? And Brenda, I hope you found that the quality of the PDF is awesome. Okay, so then another one, we're just adding it right on top of this and the inside just to give it a little bit more of a finished look on the inside. Okay, we're not going to do anything else with that. Okay, now I need to decorate this, so I'm going to cut this out with my die pieces. I had some little chads going on inside this. I want to make sure I get all of those out before I try to die cut this again. So give me just a second. I'm just using my poker tool and getting all those little chads out of there. Okay. So there we go. That's going to go right in there. And then this one is going to go around the outside here. Okay, let me grab my Post-it note tape. Get everything just the way I want it. And run it through. Now, I have already cut these little cutout leaves out of the Balmy Blue cardstock that are the dies from the foliage dies, right? Hi, Becky Tegler. Gosh, that's a surprise. I love seeing that you came on here. Thanks for joining us today. I hope everything's going well with you. I heard you're at a new school this year. I'm dropping things. Okay, so this is going to go in here. And we're going to run it through my new fancy pants die cutting machine. There we go. Okay, so close to being done here. Thanks for sticking with me. These are not so bad, and they are awesome fun to fold. So, okay, so now this is going to get popped up right here on this circle, and I'm going to use some minis. Let's see if I have, yep, I do. I have a whole bunch of them right here. Use some minis on the back side of this, and I always say some well-placed minis, right? All right, so I just placed some minis like in some areas there that I knew they wouldn't show, and we'll pull off the backings and place it right in the center of this circle. There we go, right like that. Okay, now I have a stylish shape banner here, and I'm going to stamp on this wishing you all the best in Balmy Blue. And I'm going to do it a little more to the right than the left because I'm going to add those other die cut leaves to the left side of this banner. This piece of petal pink is going to go on the back of this banner just to give it a little more something something, right like that. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back side of this one. Grab my big ones. I really want my big ones. Okay. then we have these two pieces, like I said, that we die cut out of balmy blue paper. And these are going to go right here on this side, right like that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of a Seal Plus right there. And it's just going to hold down both of these. You could also use a glue dot, I suppose. Those are going to go on right there. And then we're going to take our petal pink braided trim, and you're going to pull out, I just pull it apart like this, okay? See, I'm just pulling out those strands, and every little braid has 3 strands in it. So I'm just going to grab one of those braids, and I'm just going to pull this out. 1, 2, 3, yep. Just going to pull this right out. Watch me. I'm going to tie it in a bow. And snip off some ends. I might have to snip some more off. I'm going to grab my glue dots here. Pick it up with my take your pick tool, that pointer, and then just place it right there on top of those little leaves. Like that. I don't know what happened. It's true. It doesn't take much, right, Brenda? Little something something is what makes the difference from a boring card to an awesome card. Okay, so here we go. And then I'm going to grab my white Pearls of Beauty. I love these pearls. We have some glitching going on here. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Sorry about that, but we'll get through it. We're almost done. I'm going to put 2 up here in this corner and 1 down here in this bottom right side of the circle. Okay, so here we go. There is our second card for today. So pretty. And then it opens like this, and plenty of room to write a beautiful message in the inside. Okay, so our 2 cards for today was this one and this one right here. I will put a link in the comments on how you can get the PDF if you just want to buy the PDF, or one of the 2 kits that are available. If you would like to join my email list so you know all the things going on in my Tuttle Up world, I will put a link to that as well. So I hope you guys love these cards. I'm going to grab some lunch and take a nap. That's my plan for today. So it has been a lot of fun. It has. So my plan is to be here tomorrow at noon and Friday at noon for the last 4 cards of the Fun Fold class. So I hope you will join me. I know tomorrow's New Year's Day, but it'll be here for 30 days, so you can watch it whenever it's right for you, all right? So give me some love, show me some likes, share me out, and thanks for being a part of my world. God bless.